Going back and looking at the history, Port Street has a lot of history. It was the main thoroughfare for bringing goods and services into the heart of Easton. Of course, the famous story about Frederick Douglass arriving at the dock in Port Street and walking up into the courthouse when he came back to Talbot County. Those ships that came up and down the river and took food and material back to Baltimore and other places. So it has its struggles. It has probably not has lived up to the reputation of its past, but those things can change. I think the people who live on Port Street see the Neighborhood Service Center as a somewhat of a beacon on Port Street. People, I think, have a traditional view of poverty, that it's persons who just went wayward in life and didn't have a plan, and as they say, if you fail the plan, then you plan to fail. But no, these are people that for a number of circumstances, a number of reasons in life, fell upon hard time. These are grandparents who are now taking in grandchildren because of the opioid epidemic that we're facing, and they can't pay the rent, pay for their medication, and take care of 3-4 young children. So they have to come to Neighborhood Service Center. It wasn't by design. It wasn't their plan. Their plan was to enjoy retirement and do some traveling. But now, unfortunately, because of the circumstances that they have been faced, they now see themselves as parenting once again. So those families in need is why the Neighborhood Service Center is here. And when it comes to new development, or when it comes to already established neighborhoods, there's still going to be a need for the Neighborhood Service Center. You may say from the standpoint of the Neighborhood Service Center being a part of the community, the Port Street corridor, anything that happens on that end, the Easton Point, will flood this way in traffic or foot traffic, and also vehicle traffic. So we got to be sensitive to that, but also the opportunity to serve people who may be in need. We have property here on Port Street. We were in the rental business for some time now, for a number of years. We had a property here on Port Street that we went in and renovated, and have been using that as rental property for a number of years. That was for serving a family. It was a 2-bedroom dwelling here on Port Street. So you can serve one family at a time, unfortunately. And now with the 22 rooms that we have at Webb's Hope, we're going to be able to serve many more people. I think the approach of the board and Ms. Neal is, well, once the project does get up and running, how can we be of assistance? And again, there's always going to be people in your society who will need your assistance. Of course, Port Street is only but so wide, and you can't really make it any wider than what it already is. So your main probably concern would be the amount of traffic that you'll see coming through town. So that has to be of some concern to you. And hopefully foot traffic, I think they're going to do some streetscaping and bring some sidewalk and some lights so that people can walk up from the Easton Point and come up Port Street into town. So that's going to bring more foot traffic past your building. So from that viewpoint, I think is how can we help, how can we be of assistance, and not so much as from a fear standpoint of being elbowed out or being pushed away, because your services will still be needed. The more people you bring into the area, I think that increases those opportunities to serve people.